Welcome to the Find Your Voice, Change Your Life podcast with psychologist Dr. Doreen Downing. Listen in as Doreen interviews people who felt they didn't have a voice or who suffered extreme speaking anxiety. You'll hear stories about how they struggled to speak up, what they did to find their authentic voice, and the confidence they now feel to speak up and make an impact. If you want to get started right away to find your voice, download Doreen's free 7-step guide to fearless speaking at doreen7steps.com. And now, here is Doreen.
Hi, this is Dr. Doreen Downing. I'd like to welcome you to the Find Your Voice, Change Your Life podcast. I have a very special guest from South Africa. And isn't it amazing that we get to connect here on this platform, and I get to introduce you, my listeners, to this wonderful woman that I've come to know through social media, through the internet. And Manya Gittel. Hi.
Hi, Doreen. This is so special to be here with you, especially as you say exactly across such distance. We have managed to have such incredible closeness.
Yes.
We've touched.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, part of why I've invited Manya today to this Find Your Voice podcast is because there was a moment not too long ago where she literally lost her voice, and she found herself in the hospital having had a stroke. And she says she didn't know she lost hers until she woke up and found it again. And actually, what we're going to be talking about are the layers of waking up. It wasn't just literally unconscious to conscious. We're talking about a deeper kind of way of being in this world where most of us, as some great sages have said, over 90% of us are asleep. We're walking around asleep. So I look forward to opening up a deeper conversation of what it means to have the voice. Manya is a coach and trainer. I said she's from South Africa, and what she does is what fascinates Manya is that she's loves engaging with people in a deeper sort of way. And she works with people all over the globe. So if there's something that comes through today that you want to reach out to her, we'll have a contact information in the show notes. So I don't know if we'll get as far as talking about the Enneagram, but that is one of her specialties. If any of you know about that, it's a way of understanding human behavior and categorizing them in a way that makes it much more clear how come we are who we are. So, hello, Manya. Let's launch
Hi,
our time together here.
Let's launch. Let's jump. Let's
Yes.
say hi, and let's have people hear us.
Yes.
And hopefully shout back. Yeah.
So I always start this particular kind of podcast because that's what people want to hear about is what was early life for you? Were you born in South Africa?
Absolutely. I'm a thoroughbred, Doreen. I'm such a thoroughbred. Basically, my parents both came from the wartime. They both came from Europe. My mom came from, believe it or not, Ukraine, and my father came from Lithuania. But I was thoroughly born in Johannesburg, which is the biggest city in South Africa. Cape Town's very popular these days, but I was born in Johannesburg. I was born in the Florence Nightingale nursing home.
Oh.
And I think that's affected my identity. There's been some kind of Florence Nightingale identity floating around like an archetype. So as authentically as you mentioned that I woke up and that I hadn't even realized I'd lost my voice. But I woke up while awake and I found a voice that I didn't realize I'd lost because I need to use my hands here. I've got a part of me, we were talking about layers
Yes.
as well. There was a part of me that was here. And when I interacted with people, that part of me was very busy interacting with people. I didn't realize the extent to which I was here. And the other part of me that was interacting with people was over here. This section in between became so visible. It was like, what? I've got to be here. I am here. This is where I am. This that I've been presenting to people and all the dancing that's been involved in maintaining that for people can't be here if I've had this revelation when I'd had a little stroke. But the point is that I suddenly realized I have to tell the truth. If I don't say where I am, who I am, they won't know how I am. And what gave me the stroke was all the sexy glamour of renewing my coaching credential with the International Coaching Federation, getting accredited with tension and trauma release exercises. You know, when you can release fight and flight in your body because you've had trauma, you shake like an animal does, because we animals, we baboons, we monkeys. Anyway, I was carried on. I was on a wave. And I suddenly realized when I woke up and I found my voice, I realized, oh, this is me. Call a spade a spade. We don't need this. We don't need this. These are, we use them in our society. But I felt so much happier, Doreen, knowing that this is where I was. Somehow I'd gotten caught up in being what people wanted me to be, or what I thought people wanted me to be, rather than talking from a real place, which was myself.
For those who are listening today and didn't get a chance to see the actual visual, what Manya was doing, she put her hand out about a foot from her body, and that was representing the kind of identity, the kind of way she was with people, the way she probably even thought and felt and interacted and lived. And it was like living outside of yourself, your true self, really, is what it seemed like. And then she had this other hand, which was close to her heart. And that when Manya talked about realizing and waking up, it was like she woke up to this body, this experience inside of herself. And that felt like truth. That's what I saw when you did the hand way out there in front of you, and then the hand that was close to your heart.
Thank you, Doreen. Thank you for clarifying that. I really wasn't sure if people could see or not, because I knew some could. But exactly as you say, it was some image, some persona, some role, various roles that I was fulfilling. You know, be it happiness, be it charm, be it cleverness, be it, you know, a certain standard that I expected people to maintain, you know. It just seemed like that fell away. This hand put away from myself. Yeah. That part of myself, all those roles fell away, and I was just being me. I don't even know, Doreen, what to call that me, because it's so me that it doesn't have a name.
Yes. It's just being, definitely the beingness of us. Yes. And I love it. I love that you're that there's that where we started today in talking about layers, and I think that's yeah, they for those of us who have greater awareness, we get to know the times when we are playing a role, but we also, for those of us who have deeper awareness, it feels like we can make choices. Like I want to talk a little bit more about this deeper, the me, the beingness, because how does beingness have voice, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But there, Doreen, we are getting into the layers because, well, you know that I've struggled with this grandiose narcissist relationship which I have, which means that I'm a narcissistic supply person. So if anyone knows the terminology or they don't know the terminology, it involved me pleasing the world. So finding this voice and this place of being was no longer pleasing the world or people in the world.
Mhm.
It was really about discovering I don't have to please. I don't have to be something. I can just be being. Words are a little bit clumsy at the moment, I'm finding them paradoxical. But I was being rather than being. I was actually using the voice that speaks out. In fact, Doreen, in
Uh,
fact, I have to tell you a story. I'd love to tell you a story about an ex and I. We had a 27-year relationship. I had a conversation with him on Sunday. All those pink elephants that were under the carpet during our relationship
uh-huh. Ah,
that we hadn't broached came out
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
in this 2-hour conversation that we had. It
Uh-huh.
was wonderful.
Uh-huh.
It was wonderful. It was so naked. There was,
Oh,
like you have Adam and Eve had to wear a leaf,
uh-huh.
you know. It was like, here we were without leaves. We were just talking. And these things that we were saying, some of them were quite cruel from one perspective. But if you could listen and hear, it became so revelatory. It was like, thank God that's out the way. God, that's out the way. If that person in your life hadn't have been there and you wouldn't have colluded with them, I would have been very much happier. And it was cruel to say that, but it was truthful. And in the truthfulness, it was kind. Am I making sense?
Oh, I like what you just said around in the truthfulness, it was kind. And I get that there's
Exactly.
an intention as opposed to just saying it without consciousness and without awareness that you've got this other being in front of you. You're not there to destroy this being, you're there to help enlighten together, to be in a conversation that I love your word, revelatory.
Absolutely. Well, what you've captured is this incredible love that there is for the person. So you are being kind. There's love for yourself
Yes.
and there's love for the other person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is an incredible sense of connection in the truth, which
Yeah.
you usually hide behind this image that you have to put up in a relationship. You think with
Hmm.
all good intentions to protect, but
Hmm.
actually you're not telling the truth. And in that, you think you're being kind, but you're actually being cruel. And if you say it, you think you're being cruel, but you're actually being kind
Hmm.
because it's truthful. it's more my real voice. It's more being.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I'm going to take a brief break and we'll be back because I have more questions and I want to explore a few more things with you before we have to end our time together. Be right back.
If you want to get started right away to find your voice, download Doreen's free 7-step guide to fearless speaking at doreen7steps.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Doreen Downing. I'm back with Manya Gittel, who's giving us a very profound entrance into her experience of coming closer to truth and lining up with a sense of being as opposed to this outer shell that many of us create and live our lives mostly outside of our inner truth, our beingness. So yes, this is a very esoteric conversation today, and it is something that really thrills me about being the beingness of who we are and how that relates to voice, right?
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
because
mm,
mostly when I tell people the work that I do, Find Your Voice, they think it's about being on a stage or learning how to
mm,
speak up. But in a way, it is about speaking up. But it's more, really, this is the truth. It's more about finding the truth inside of you and having
mm,
that voice come up and be heard, having the courage to say what you need to say in certain situations, and to become fearless, not not in a way that is without compassion. I guess that's how I explain it. So we're back.
mm,
Hi.
mm. Hi, Doreen. I'm so sorry to say this because my voice just wants to say it. I'm listening to you and I'm just so loving what
Yeah,
you're saying. I had a feeling of this is fantastic. I'm falling in love, but it felt spiritual.
yeah.
It felt like there is such a connection. And I
Hmm.
just would like to express that gratitude.
Uh, mm. Yeah, energetically without words. I think this is partly what the voice is. For those who are watching Manya and I, we are energetically connected and feeling a lovingness. And there's a channel here. And this channel is vibrant and open and alive with a force. And to me, I mean, that's partly what we're talking about. Well, how do words fit into this deeper sense of beingness when people come together and share in a way it's intimate. It's got really a fresh kind of, it's so in the moment and it's so vulnerable and so alive at the same time.
Absolutely. That's all I can say at the moment is that I can, I'm very touched, Doreen, because I do think that all of us have this unique, in our own way, general capacity
Yes.
to connect like this. And I do think that it lies in this true voice
Yeah.
and this way of being. And if we could, as you said, as it's very esoteric, this conversation, but if we could be here in an ordinary way, I think we are, but I think we could more consistently be deeper as well and celebrate this incredible depth and specialness of connection that we do have when we are more authentic. And
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's a expanse. It's the way I talk about is expanding the now. We go
mm,
through life so quickly, and
mm,
there's an acknowledgement of the now with you is shared. It's a be with.
absolutely.
I call it the be with exercise, and I teach people the be with. But that is,
Beautiful.
can we just be with, and maybe without words, like you and I had a moment without words, and it was like vibrating. And,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. And
yeah.
I'm feeling that without words with you as we speak, because behind the words, there's the place the words are coming from.
Oh, yes.
And I have a strong sense of the way you're understanding me, the way that I'm understanding you. No, there's a resonance, which I feel just if we can be more awake to that, rather than, like you said, there's certainly with the Enneagram, with Gurdjieff, who's found the Enneagram in Persia, and he said that we're 90x% asleep. We don't necessarily feel this extent of resonance. We will be hypnotized or we'll be asleep. Like I woke up while awake in the intensive care unit. It was, oh, so that's not so important. This is what's important. The preciousness of ordinariness, of really being awake. It's that simple. Being with your exercise. I've never seen it, but it makes a lot of sense to me. It really makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yes. Well, given that you and I are on the same wavelength here, let's talk about something that would serve our listeners. How can they have more of what we have?
Okay. Well, I think that it is through exercises like you've just mentioned, you've got with being with. And as well, it's a lot of work. This is an uphill journey. If you do the Enneagram, there are moments of awakening and there are moments of really being asleep and times that you think you're awake, but you realize you were asleep. And what happens with the Enneagram is that you realize you have been stuck in a pattern of behavior, which is extremely special to you, but it's a trap. It's when I had my hands a foot away and close to my heart, there's a fixation, there's a pattern where we remain stuck. And the Enneagram, once you've identified your profile, shows you places you could be stuck in that profile, and you go, oh, and you can let go and be awake during that revelation where you've noticed, I thought it's special, but I've actually been stuck. So I can give an example.
Sure.
So, I've had a sense where I've been excluded in the world and special. It's also related to this depth. In the Enneagram, it's called the profile of the four. Now, when I've realized that both the sense of exclusion and the sense of specialness in being excluded is a pattern that I'm stuck in. It started long ago. I told you about being a narcissistic supply person. This other person blocked me out of the world. So I felt very excluded, but very special in that. When I let that go and I realized, oh, I'm with Doreen. Doreen isn't excluding me. I could, let's say 15 years ago, now we're talking hard work because this is 15 years ago. I could have been with Doreen and felt excluded or special. Instead, I'm feeling I'm with you. You are special. You are ordinary. I am special. I am ordinary. We belong. We are together. There's no exclusion in the specialness that we have. You know, I'm not uniquely separated from this experience. And that's one of the ways of waking up. The Enneagram showed that to me because it was in a profile of the four.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw, okay, this is how I can wake up. But they're layers.
Mm-hmm.
There's different times I can feel excluded, or different times I can feel special. And in that moment in my life, I can realize, oh, I'm in the trap. Let me take that off and let me just be me. Let me be more authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Let it go. Be me. Talk with my voice and not be excluded, moaning about being excluded or proud of being special.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that illustration. And I think each of the 9 types is something that people can learn about and they can. Do you have a website or something that we can offer people so that they can learn more about the Enneagram?
Well, what I offer is I have a website where people can just phone up and book on the calendar. In fact, they click on a link and they book a time to phone up on Zoom, where we will have a free chemistry session and they can see if there is something that they would like to change, something that they feel stuck in. We can talk about that to whatever extent they'd like to, and we can see if they would like to be part of a coaching program with me.
Great.
So I've got this booking available. The website's name is www, and it's MG Coaching Solutions. So it's M for Manya, which is my name, G for Gittel, which is my surname, and then it's Coaching Solutions. I was
Great.
going to give my email address, .com.
.com. Yes, well, it'll be in the show notes so people can check out there. We're coming to the end of our time, this time, only just this time together. I'd like
Yes.
to open up for the last moment to listen into what it is that you would like to leave our listeners, how you would like to bring our time together to a close. And I give that moment to you.
Doreen, I'd like to take advantage of the fact of how we met, that there was a sense of just being present and opening up to the opportunity with you. There was a sense of heartfulness. There was a sense of letting go. And I would like to invite the listeners to do that, to remain awake. Something can pass under our nose and we don't smell it, we don't realize it. It's really a matter of being very relaxed, being very open. And if you feel a tug, to respond to that tug. Doreen, I can only use this precious moment that we have found and this presence with each other as an example for how it is that I'd like to invite people to be aware in their lives that something can just really come past. Be as awake as you can. Be as authentic as you can. And be as open as you can to receiving and responding to what is truly there.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's such an opportunity, Doreen.
Yeah. Thank you for the words and thank you for the wisdom. And for me, thank you for the experience.
Absolutely wonderful. I have only the same gratitude to bounce back at you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us today for this episode of Find Your Voice, Change Your Life. Each person during interviews shares what has helped them find their voice. You can learn from these guests and find your voice so you can be confident to speak up and speak out. And remember to download Doreen's free 7-step guide to fearless speaking at doreen7steps.com. We hope you enjoyed the show and will return next time. Until then, goodbye for now.